just listed, just sold campaigns, and how we're going to turn one listing into 3 transaction. Who wants that? Yes, yes. All right, I'll say it for you. Yes, yes. That first one is just for yes, yeah. Who's this? Amen. Yes, amen. I love the energy. Perfect. I always say this, the first yes is just because we have to show up, but it's the second yes. It's the second yes that makes us bigger and better than everything else. So I love the yes, yes. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about some of the real estate problems that we have. So some of the real estate problems, you're scared because we don't have enough business. I'm sure some of us are feeling that right now. You find that clients want to walk all over you. They want to do it their way, not your way. The new leads rarely turn into clients, right? Some other things we've heard before as well, that you get busy doing less important stuff. Said no agent ever. Those shiny things. We get distracted doing other things, right? Then you get a listing, but no spin-off business. And the last 2 years definitely didn't help that, up and down in a weekend, right? We like that they stick around a little longer. And some other problems, you can call to find out, oh, I'm sorry, we've already sold. We've already sold. Oh, next time, my friends, next time. So this is probably not just you that's feeling it. As the market starts to shift, we find that this happens often. So there we go. Did you relate to any of that? It may be because we need to make some strategic changes. Now that the market is shifting, let's look at some different areas of opportunity. So, do we have a marketing plan that is strategic? Think about this. Have we created 3 deals or more from every listing? Have you mastered conversion? Do you have clarity on where you need to prioritize your time? Or are we all just still on summer mode? Some of us are still on summer mode. It's okay. Also, what are you doing in the step of mindset? We have to step into that mindset performance. You can do it. I can tell you can all do it, right? We want to also create a killer, well-documented client journey. Do you know where your clients are going? And I'm not just saying, oh, let's go write an offer, but do you know what your process is to guide your client through the whole client experience? Also, making mastery of your CRM. Who uses a CRM? Do we use it to its fullest potential? And finally, stay consistent with what works. If it's working, what's that saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, if it does need a few tweakings and we can improve the system, maybe that's something that we want to look at. So from here, I want you to take some of these concepts and start to think about what's going on in your business. Let's talk really quickly here about some vital areas of focus for our business. We really want to make sure that we're prioritizing our time and our efforts, especially now. So let's look at here. What opportunities do we have? Where are the opportunities? If we don't know where they are, how are we supposed to get them? Also, what type of experience are they experiencing? What is your competition doing? If you were to go to your competition and go through their client journey, where does that lead to you? What experience are you offering? And finally, look into our community. What I love so much about being in real estate, we don't only get to deal with the end users, the buyers and sellers. We also get to deal with our community, other local businesses. How do we support business? How do we show up? Anybody tried any like pumpkin drops, pie drops? We're getting into holiday season now. Who involved the community this summer doing a ice cream truck event? How did we include our community? So there's lots of different opportunities that we can look at to be able to bring in more clients and share with them an experience that's second to none. So let's talk about some marketing and talk about opportunity marketing. So why marketing? Marketing is a first priority, everybody. That's how they know that we're sitting there. And I know that right now, after coming off of COVID, we all got to sit in our homes for a long period of time. But in doing that, we want to make sure that we are marketing. We are getting information out to our prospects, to our current lists. Also, We want to make sure that we are measuring this. And this is why I love marketing, because we're able to measure the efforts that we've put in. One thing I love right now about marketing is the use of QR codes. So I'll drop that one in there. Anybody using QR codes, you can start to track how many people have clicked on it. We need to get the message out, and not just the message out one time or 2 times or 3 times, but we need to get the message out consistently. And on top of that, we need to also be strategic in that messaging. And how are we addressing different channels as we do that? I'd love to say that there was one channel and one way to do it, but there's not. There's lots of opportunity out there. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between advertising and marketing, because there's a difference between the two. So what is advertising? Advertising builds your brand's business. It builds your reputation. We want to make sure that it's getting out there. We want everybody to see your name out there. We are making customers aware that they have unmet needs. Imagine that. We're going to tell them these needs are not met yet. We can help you with your problems. Next, generating more leads and sales with new campaigns. I'm sure we're all familiar with pay-per-click, some Google, some Facebook ads. Those are advertising. That's where we can get the message out. By using stuff like that, we can get our reach even further using social media posts and playing with that amazing algorithm. Finally, highlighting your product or service that benefits us using a story. Imagine if you could captivate somebody and bring them through, tell a story on their journey. Imagine how they would feel as they're part of that flow. Imagine how you become the hero to solve all their problems. You're their Sherpa, you're their guide. So I want you to think about all of those aspects as we're putting out advertising. We're spending hardcore money to put information out so that we can get a lead. And then once we get that lead in, then we'll want to run with it on the inside. So how does marketing differ from, how does advertising differ from marketing? Marketing is your overall plan. So your advertising is just part of your marketing plan. So whether you're advertising on Facebook or you're advertising with direct mail, you're advertising, you're getting the name out, you're getting your product out there. So with marketing, this is going to be an ongoing process. And you really want to make sure that as you're moving your marketing channels all the way through from start to finish, what does that look like? How involved is everything? How complex do you want to make it, or how simple do you want to make it? And when marketing, you need to have a strategic plan. And this makes up all the different ways that you're going to get out your message. So not only did we send out an ad on Facebook today, that was great, but then what happened? Did they get followed up with an email sequence, email marketing plan? Do they have an email campaign? Do we put them into some search criteria? Do we also then target them through a farming initiative or a direct mail initiative? Are those Facebook ads being targeted to a farm area, or are they widespread? So you can start to see how our advertising initiatives are really part of a bigger marketing plan. So I would encourage all of you, if you don't have a marketing plan in place already, let's start working on that, okay? And there's 2 different types of advertising that we're going to talk about. And one of them is ego advertising. It's the brand, it's how we get our brand's name out there. This is what builds brand awareness. So it's one of those, oh my gosh, Alysha, I see you everywhere. Oh, I see this. Oh, Sutton Group. I know Sutton Group's brand. They maybe don't know you, but they know about Sutton Group, right? So imagine if we were to take that Sutton Group and then additionally attach it to your brand. The other kind of advertising is stealth marketing or stealth advertising. Who's done a Facebook or Google pay-per-click and there's a box that populates with all of their information already populated, name, phone number, email, and they just have to click yes. Usually they want to see more photos. Maybe they want more information. And so a box pops up with all their contact information and we hit yes. And now all of a sudden us as the realtors calling them the next morning and they say, where'd you get my information? from. This is called stealth marketing, and it is very popular right now because people are now just having all of their information populate for them. So if we look at a graph at where does all of the business start to come from, check this out. 44% of the leads that we're generating are going to be stealth-like leads, which means they've had some kind of pop-up form that they've clicked OK. That's often why when you call them, they're like, I don't remember submitting this, because they didn't have to manually input this. Look at here, 25% comes from our brand awareness, our branded advertising. So take yours as well as team up with Sutton Group, all their advertising. That's coming into this piece here, branded. Now, for those of you that are repeat and referrals, on average is about 12% of your overall business and 20% are your COI. So when we're thinking about how do we want to market and advertise our business, think about this breakdown here and where do you want your source of leads to come from? So let's talk about that. Some lead generating systems. We've got what's most common right now, that internet lead. The lead coming from a pay-per-click, coming from retargeting, coming from your website, coming from Facebook, Instagram. They're internet, which means they're a little bit colder. That's okay. Then we come down into our social media. That's where we have paid ads. So we're not just putting it out there organically. We're going to give Facebook some money to put it in front of more people. I want more views. I want more leads. I want more traffic driven to my website. So you can use social media as part of that advertising and marketing plan. Center of influence, your SOI or your COI, your sphere, your database, your past clients, your repeat and referral. There's a huge marketing opportunity here. That our favorite, just listed, just sold, farming, open house, door knocking, all around that listing you have. Are we doing that? Or did we just do that when we first got into this business? Think about too, a little bit older school, but classifieds, Kijiji, Craigslist. These are really great resources, especially just starting out, right? I don't know if anybody does any leases, but this is where you can push some lease information out and you can get returned a bunch of information or a bunch of leads rather looking to do a lease. So these are some more low-hanging fruit, right? Finally, can we go after some FSBOs, for sale by owner? Because all us agents make way too much. That homeowner, especially in today's market, they think they can do it better than us. What is your FSBO strategy? Do you have a FSBO strategy? Do you reach out to them? Are you intimidated by them? Are you able to offer value to that FSBO? What if you could come up with an agreement that you could bring a buyer? Would they be open to that? Think about too, from a brand marketing, does anybody use radio? Does anybody use billboards or the bus benches? What is your return? Again, that's not going to pull direct leads yet from it, but it creates the strength in your brand awareness. Oh my gosh, I hear that guy on the radio all the time. Oh my gosh, there's his bus bench. Oh my gosh, there's his for sale sign and there's all the open house signs. So think about how one form of this marketing can then lead to other opportunities. So what are we going to focus on? So let's focus on some generation systems. It's great now that we know how to get all these leads that are going to come in, but how do we manage them? So at KBCC, we have two systems that we teach right away, our buyer system and our selling system. Both of them are both proven systems that generate a lot of value and education for our clients. So some of the things that these systems are able to do is to implement direct response advertising. How do we target them? How do we diversify who we're reaching, how often we're reaching, who our target is? Do we even know who our target audience is? What about offer some flexible marketing, giving different ideas on how to market? What about generating larger volumes of leads? Who wants more leads? I don't have enough, I need more. So these systems help you start to generate more leads. We're going to spend less time lead generating. I'm sure there's a few of us in this crowd be like, yes, I'd like to do less generating of leads and more time making more money. And then we want to generate quality leads. having them come in online, they tend to be a little bit cooler. So we want to generate quality leads, and we want to track and measure. Tracking and measure gives us great awareness on where our business is. How many new leads did I get? How many did I talk to? How many were good numbers? How many were bad numbers? And then how many deals have I done off of that investment? And that will lead us to the last one, because it keeps our leads cost effective. I don't know about you, but I really don't like spending money on leads that don't convert and that they just disappear or they just sit there. So by having a proven system, it allows me to have more control over how much I'm going to spend on my lead gen. And then what do I know is going to be my return on that investment? So let's break some of this down. This is just an example, but this is something maybe you have, or maybe you want to create. But this is a strategic marketing plan. And this will give us an idea here of all the different sources of ads that we're running. And then what is that total cost? And we're going to break this down at the cost per ad. And then what is our total number of ads that we've ran? So what this starts to do is it starts to put some financials into play, and then we start to break this down month over month. So if we had one ad ran and it cost us $113, okay, so allocation of our overall marketing spend for this month was 2%. So we can see we didn't put any Google or Facebook ads, but then we can come down here and we can say, oh, let's go down to this one. We can say that we put it in the newspaper, the local newspaper. We ran that ad 4 times and it cost us just over $450. What about your social media? Okay, so for our social media, we ran 4 different social media ads. It cost us $80. Excellent. This will start to put into perspective, how much are we spending? Where are we spending? How many ads did it run? What does it look like as a cost per campaign? What does it look like cost per lead? As we get more leads coming in, were they warmer? Were they colder? So this is something that if you don't already have a marketing plan that breaks down the numbers, go ahead and snap a quick photo of this one. And then you can recreate this on your own later on today or on the weekend, whatever you like. But if you don't have one, I would encourage everybody to get one in place, especially if we want to know where the money's going. So how are we going to capitalize on our listing opportunities? We now know all the different ways that we can create leads. Now let's look at our listing. So a sales is a discipline that is executed using art, which is your personal genius, and the science, which is a sales process. And them combined is going to create a wonderful experience for your clients. So where should we be focusing on? We have a just listed or a just sold property. What about direct response? Have you done flyers? Did you do a mailing campaign? Did you do any advertising? Did you do a digital campaign? Did you do any retargeting within your database? Somebody that maybe is looking for a home that is similar to yours that you had listed or just sold. What about open houses? During COVID, I'm not doing open houses anymore. I know a lot of agents got out of the open house business, but you know what? I know. I shake my head too. I love open houses because the clients are that much warmer. When they're actually getting ready to go into the home, hey, honey, what do you want to do this Saturday? Well, it's going to be a nice day. Why don't we go open housing? Okay. And they're going to get in their car and they're going to go check things out. And usually once they're starting to open house, if they're not a nosy neighbor from around the corner, it's because they're starting to put themselves literally into the house to see how it is. And that's where we come in after that open house. We want to then work with them to take them in and have private tours, right? Where we're representing their needs. So this is really a nice opportunity, not just for buyers, but now we're going to have some sellers that need to make a move too. So isn't this a great opportunity to showcase how you present a home that you've listed? So not only would I target the buyers in that market, ready? Here's a super hack. Do a 1-hour VIP nosy neighbor open house. Host the open house, invite the neighbors to showcase how we list all of our properties. Do that on one that you've maybe staged or it looks really nice. But again, open that up. Now you have an hour ahead of your public open house to meet the neighbors. So this is a great opportunity. Finally, what about calling, door knocking, circle prospecting? Anybody heard of a 10-10-20 house for sale listing just came up? Doesn't need to be yours, folks. Sign shows up on the lawn. I want you to go and do flyers on 10 houses on either side, 20 across the street, 10-10-20. You don't have to do the whole street if you don't have time. Just hit those up, just listed. Then flip back around and go back over and say home just sold. So now you're strategically targeting the same houses. So then consistency. If you put the flyer the first time, you need to put the flyer the second, the third. A lot of agents fall off. They'll call a lead one time. The lead is no good. Well, how many times did you call it? Are you consistent? Do you have a plan for consistency? How do you keep in touch with everybody? What is your marketing plan? Did we do a flyer drop every quarter or every month or maybe one time? Think about the consistency that's happening in your business. What about building rapport? Turn a prospect into a lead that's looking for your help, right? Oftentimes what I hear from agents, what do we love to do as agents? We love to talk. In fact, I could tell you most agents are like, I don't like all the paperwork and the administrative stuff, but I want to get belly to belly. I want to see people again. If I can just get in front of them, I know that we'll have a great connection. So that's called building rapport. We already know you're good at it, so let's do more of that. And that's where door knocking, open housing, getting in front of people is going to be really important. And finally, the follow-up. The follow-up, 60%. I'm betting that that's more, but my number says 60% of agents do not follow up. 60%. So here's what I want all of you guys to be. I want you to be the 40%. I want you to be the 40% that follow up. I want you to follow up on the other guys' leads because they're not doing it. And if they're not following up, no wonder why people think we have a bad rap in this business. No wonder why people think we're overpaid. People try to reach out. I need help buying my house, but we don't call them back. So if we're not doing a good job at following up, we need to do a better job, especially when the market shifts. Okay. So I would encourage everybody, take a look at some of these. Think about your just listed home, just sold home. Are you doing any of these activities around that listing? Could you? What effort would it take to add that in? Here's a super hack. I'm going to share it with you. A really great, easy flyer. It doesn't even need to be specific. Hey, in your neighborhood, a house in your area is for sale. If you know anyone who'd be interested in relocating to this area, give me a call. Throw a QR code on here even. Scan the QR code. So if you took this concept, you could print tons of these and leave them in your trunk or backseat of your car. But imagine when you're going through and driving through your farm area, oh, new house just came up for sale. And we know statistically, if one sign comes up, there's usually going to be 2 or 3 others that come up, especially now that we're going into a more balanced market. So if you had a whole bunch of these, a home is currently now for sale. Imagine if you had another one that said, a home is recently sold in your area. Just go get thousands of these printed, throw them in your trunk, and now 10-10-20 every time. And that creates a nice routine for you to get in front of not only just the homes in your area that you've listed and sold, but for those that are not capitalizing. I bet you, if you talk to some of your agent friends that have a listing, be like, have you flyered the area? Did you circle call them? They're going to be like, what's circle calling? So capitalize on that. This is a really great one to have. It's all nicely branded, very easy. You don't even need to knock, or you don't even need to have them answer the door. If they don't answer, just slide it into their mailbox, okay? So very simple way to get out into that community. So for those of you that are using a just listed, just sold flyer, do you use just listed, just sold flyers? The most powerful are just listed, just sold. Something also with a testimonial, or I like the word experience. You know, is there some value add? Scan this QR code for a free download of Seller's Guide. I don't know. The QR code is incredibly powerful right now. On one side, you should talk about that listing if you've just listed it. On the other side, that call to action, a CTA. Everything we do advertising wise should have some call to action. We want you to take action and reach out to us. Offer things such as the free home evaluation. Offer things like free staging or free buyer seller guides. Think about your business. How do you show up and offer more value? Everybody right now can offer similar things, but how do we go above and beyond? Does it make sense? Is your free staging included in your listing packages? What commission package does it include it in? So I also like this language at the end of these flyers. I can also show you ways to add value to your home when getting it ready to sell, because we also know that not everybody's going to sell today. I know that we would really love to show up every time today for the listing appointment today. But what happens is there's some planners out there, and some planners are going to say, I'm going to take the fall and the winter to get my home ready for the spring market. Can you come over and help me determine what I need to do to add value to my home? So that's where this little tagline is very powerful. And finally, let's use a QR code to direct them to landing pages where your lead can be captured. So if you've got a landing pages with your listing, if you've sold your listing, maybe it's sorry, you've missed it, but please register to be the first to know about our future listings. What a great way for them to stealth-like capture their lead, their contact information, right? It'll populate with their name, phone number, and email address. So there's some things to think about. Think about your own. Are you doing these things currently to your flyers? Some other great offers. So here's some ideas. Down the street, a home down the street. Do you want to know the price of the home down the street? Call, text, email, social media, however you want them to contact them. Contact me to find out the home prices of any homes listed in your area. I know that there's a house segment, realtor.ca, but we don't want them to use that. We want them to use us, right? Next one, what's for sale? Looking to move within this area or know somebody who's trying to move in? Registered here to get up-to-date information on what's going on in your area. I'd also insert a QR code here. Finally, choose your neighbors. I love this one. Anybody that lives in a neighborhood that you really love, you really want to recruit your friends and family to come and live closer to you, right? Choose your neighbor. Know someone who's looking to move into this area? I can provide you with a free list of homes currently for sale for them to choose. Call me today. Contact me today. Buyer for your home. Okay, this one I say with a grain of salt because I feel like there's a lot of agents that say this. So take your spin on it. I have a list of buyers looking to move into this area. If you're looking to make a move, call me. Now, the fact is that now that we're moving into more of a buyer's market, we really will start to have databases of buyers looking to make a move when the time is right. But I do feel like sometimes we say, I have a buyer, but I really don't have a buyer. So I'm a very ethical agent. So I'm not going to tell somebody I have a buyer for your home unless I really do. And then I want to bring that buyer right away and try and lock in that deal, see if we can get both sides. So this just gives you some alternate ideas on what we can say, what we can put in front of them. Again, using that flyer for your just listed, just sold. Okay. Oh, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. There we go. Now it changed for me. All right. So let's talk about some myths about the quality leads, right? We talked about quality leads earlier. Some of you want some quality leads. So the leads are what you think they are. Nothing more, nothing less. So the key here is like what I said also. If you call that lead one time and they don't answer, it doesn't mean that the lead is bad. I have to say, how much effort are we also getting into to make sure that we procure that lead and then convert it? So how to properly evaluate the lead? What is the conversion? What is your conversion rate? Are you scripted? Are you systemized? Do you have a journey for them? How well do you convert? Do you track this so you actually have a number, or is it just like, well, I think I convert about 50% of the people I talk to. So I like definitive information. So understand, what is your conversion rate? How many leads have come in? How many phone calls came out? How of those phone calls that you made, how many people did you talk to? And then how many people did you talk to turn into business? And so that's a very simple way to even just track your efforts. Number of leads, number of calls, from the number of calls, number of conversations, and from there, how much business. So think about your conversion, because then we're going to talk about the cost effective, your cost per lead. And this can range from very, very little to very, very expensive, depending on how hot or cold that lead is. Let's be honest, folks, the cheaper the lead, the colder they are. So that's why we pay more money for warmer leads. We pay a lot of money for hot leads. And so what I want you to understand is, of the leads that you are receiving and converting, what is it costing you? How much are you really spending on each lead? Do you know? That's something I would say you should know. Amount of supply available. Oh, I don't have any leads. You just need one person to talk to. How many leads do you really need? Because a lot of people are like, I need more leads. I need more leads. But every month I watch them. I got 100 new leads. I got 200 new leads. I'm like, amazing. And you know what they say? But they're all not good. I said, well, it's not that they're not good. How many times have you contacted them? What is the system you're running? How many leads is enough for you to then circle and go back through them and actually process the lead? Calling 1 or 2 times is not processing leads. We need to make sure that we flush them all the way out. And then finally, how much time is needed to create that result? Because as we start getting our efforts in there, it's now going to start to create some more time, especially if we're putting all this energy and money out into marketing it and the lead comes in and we don't have anything to process on, right? We don't know how to move them through the system or even vet them. So we need to evaluate what belongs in our business and what doesn't. We need to be very clear on where are we getting these leads from, especially if we're coming off of a listing. So let's break some things down from a timing. How much time is needed here? So cold calling is very high time. And I'm talking cold calling. I'm talking like your tele listings, the do not call list, the unsolicited cold calling, right? A lot of time, very little return. But again, it's part of a process. Farming takes a lot of time. We got to put our shoes on. We got to go drive to the farm market if the farm market is not where you live. And then it's going to take a lot of time to go and door knock, to go make the relationship. So it's a big commitment. Farming is definitely a big commitment, but it's one that will eventually come to fruition, right? 12 to 18 months in your farm. Then let's look at the low brand internet leads. Medium time, right? Those are like some of those lead generation systems that they've got. Sign up and we'll send you 30 leads every month for here's your monthly price, right? So they're low branded leads and not quite as warm, but maybe warmer than if they were coming in from cold calling. Same with low branded print leads, right? So this is something that's mass produced, something that has got a little bit of branding, but nothing too over the top, right? So it's getting the name out there. Now we're going to look at the brand building internet leads. So this is maybe something with your brand or branded with Sutton Group or co-branded Sutton Group plus my ABC team. So those kind of branded now starts to build more awareness. So not only are they teamed up with Sutton Group that we know and love and trust, but now we're starting to also see ABC team involved. And oh my gosh, we love ABC team or ABC Realtor, doesn't matter. Again, same thing when we're sending out by internet leads, do the same thing for print. So if we just sent it out, just listed, just sold flyer, this is a good example of your print leads. So it's got Sutton Group and it's got your name on there, right? So medium amount of time and effort. We still have to create the flyer. We still have to proof it, get it to the printer, get it out there, and then follow up. Here's where I love, I'm sure you guys are going to learn to love this too if you don't already. Referrals. I love referrals. Repeat and referral. They are very low time. In fact, it's what we all crave, right? I don't know. My phone just rings and I have business. It's awesome. But not everybody gets like that. And it takes a little bit of time as we go through all of these different channels to build up our business so that we are now getting business referrals. So very low effort on our time. Our client referral, right? So past clients, new clients, all of these kind of leads, repeat and referral leads are fabulous. And they take a lot less of our time. But what's happening in the back end of all of this, that's where we're hoping that you have some form of system that's keeping in touch. whether it's a monthly newsletter or they're on your regular 120-day touch point of a call. Hey, past clients, how are things? How's the kids? How's the weather? Where are you vacationing? How's the house? So those kind of efforts are going to be much less on your side, but again, you'll want to have something in the background that's a little systemized to keep that relationship going. So now that we've assessed all the time that it takes, I want you to start to think about, where do you want to invest this time? How much time do you want to put in towards your lead generation off of your listing that was just listed or just sold? So at this point too, I think it's time that we should be reevaluating the approach, right? How we did things in the last 2 years in real estate, not likely going to be the same way we do things in the next 2 years, but who knows? So here's what I'm going to position to you guys. I want you to start to think about your follow-up. Remember, 60% of the realtors out there don't follow up. I know it's none of you guys, but if it is, I want you to think about this. We need a loop back or a promise to reconnect. Who would agree with me that it's much easier? Oh, I've gone too far. Who would agree with me that it is a lot easier to reach out to somebody if you have permission to call them back? I think we could all agree, right? It's a lot easier if it's like, you told me to call you back, you asked me to return your call. So that's a nice thing right now. So it's always nice that to have a loop. So what is your loop back? What is your promise? What is your ability to reconnect? Do you have permission? Follow-up is the key to your listing success. So we want to follow up with our sellers. We want to follow up with our leads that we have coming in, whether it's through door knocking or farming or open houses. Really, we want to make sure that we are always following up, getting that check and that balance. Is everybody happy? We do not want to sell one house. We want the opportunity to sell multiple homes. And this is where we want to start to also take over some market share. I think we said that in our first in the chat, right? We want to dominate the area. So in order to get market share, what are you doing to get market share? If you get a listing, let's get that sign out there. And I want you to make sure that you're talking with all the neighbors. How is the neighborhood? Are you thinking of making a move? Do you know somebody that's making a move? So we want the opportunity to sell multiple homes. And that's where I like the VIP open house just a little earlier, and personally invite those, the nosy neighbors, because it's been a while since they got into a house, right? Take that nosy neighbors, the approach of prospecting sellers, not just buyers. Buyers are for when they walk in the door from 2 to 4. We want to educate our sellers on our ability to create opportunities, the exposure. So right now, let's be honest, there was a lot of sellers that are like, you guys are paid a lot of money. Well, there's another conversation for another day. However, what are we doing that shows value? If you think I'm overpaid because I put a sign on your lawn, all of a sudden in this market, we need to make sure we are getting exposure. We're getting this listing in front of as many people. That's where using advertising like Google and Facebook ads, that's going to get more exposure as well. Open houses, doing flyer campaigns. You can start to think about a whole bunch of different ways. Think about, what could you say to your seller on how are you exposing this property? You know, or is it going back to print ads? Are you putting an ad in the paper? What about if it's a luxury home, are you using some luxury magazines to advertise? Who is your demographic? Are you looking at sources outside of Canada to bring buyers into this market? So there's all sorts of different opportunities on how we can educate our clients, our sellers, on how we are creating more opportunities. For them, it looks like you're working really hard. For us, we are working hard because we also want to get some buyers off of this. So then differentiate prospects from leads for your CRM organization. So if you are using a CRM, if you're not, I would really encourage you to use a CRM. It's a nice way to keep things organized. It keeps clients from dropping through the cracks, but more importantly, it allows you to understand who is who and where are they in the process. So are they a lead or are they a prospect? Have you had a conversation? I always like to say this, it to me is a lead once I've determined timing. When I know that this timing is in place, then I can move them through the process. Okay. Then call and follow up using your buyer system to build instant rapport. This is one thing I love about the KBCC buyer system. It automatically tells you when you need to touch base with them. That way we don't sound too salesy or too pushy, but it also allows you opportunity to build rapport while also understanding when is your timing. And if the timing is too far out, no problem. We love to keep in touch with our clients. Let's just get permission to call them back. And now I can call them back every once in a while. Hey, Bob, how's things going? You asked me to keep in touch with you, and that's what I'm doing. Imagine what that perception looks like now. Man, I said, keep in touch, and the guy did, or gal, right? So it's really important. Follow up. Biggest takeaway in my world for you guys, follow up, follow up, follow up. So let's look here and talk about an effective approach to calling. So here's a little bit of a just listed script, right? What do I say? If I'm going to call them, what am I going to say? We've recently listed a home in your area and anticipate many additional buyers interested in a property. And I know often another property will list in the area soon after this recent sale. Have you thought about making a move in the next 6 to 8 months? If yes, we'll move to our outbound script where we're going to collect some information on them. If no, are you considering making a move in the next 2 years or possibly purchasing an investment property? Again, don't just let them get off the phone. Find out what they say. If they're like, nope, we're staying here for the rest of our lives, we're never moving. Amazing. Wish them goodbye. But if they are, maybe this is an opportunity to give them different solutions to maybe some of their problems. So finally, we want to look at our measured science and why using a system is so important for the sales process. So what is a measured science? A measured science in real estate is a system or process, one that when used provides predictable results. I just love predictable results. It helps me really manage my business. And that's what we're looking for. How do we scale a business? We need some predictability. So if we look at the conversion process, right? All of our marketing aspects lead to the prospect, which leads to the lead. So here's it in a funnel form. So once they come in from our marketing opportunity, we don't know anything about them. They're just prospects. Now we know that they're a lead because we're determining where the timing is. And then from there, we're going to understand what their wants and needs are so that we can convert this. And what we're looking for in this scenario is for us just simply to meet with them. I'm not looking for them to buy or sell right now. I just want to be able to meet with them face to face because I know that's where I'm going to have the best conversion. So here is the same thing in a little bit of a org chart. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure. Introduction. Who are you? Why are you calling? Identify any information. Do they need information on the home that was just listed or just sold? Then if it's for just listed, I want you to share some information. Oh, this home's been beautifully renovated. Oh, is that what you were hoping for? Oh no, you were thinking of a fixer-upper. Or share like, oh, this has got a big, beautiful landscaped backyard or finished basement or gourmet kitchen. Are those things you're hoping for? And then from there, we're going to offer them one of these solutions. Over here, SGB, say goodbye. The only time we're going to say goodbye right away to this person is if we have fully flushed out that they are working with another agent. They are fully committed to that agent. We are not able to work with people that are fully committed to agents, okay? If they're looking to sell their home, only 25% of the leads are going to be sellers. So then we're going to offer a seller value proposition. We'll close, we'll handle any objections, and we'll state what our terms are. The showing offer. Oh, hey, I'm sitting in front of your listing right now. Can you just quickly pop over and open the door for me? No, we're not going to do that, but I am going to find out a little bit more about them. I'm going to actually move them into our buyer value proposition and take them through a buyer consultation. But this is exactly where it is. We're going to go from a showing offer. We're going to convert them. And then I'm actually going to bring them into our buyer value proposition. And our buyer value proposition is exactly that. It's working with buyers. We know 75% of the leads that come into our system are going to be buyers. So this is why we start here. So we're going to vet them. Once we know that they're vetted, we'll offer the buyer value proposition. We'll close, we'll overcome any objections, and then we'll let them know what our terms are. And finally, our follow-up. Our follow-up just simply means their timing is too far out. So if they're too far out, that's okay. We love to keep in touch with our clients. Are you okay if we touch base with you closer to the time you're thinking of making a move? Of course. and then get off the phone, say goodbye. We're on to the next one. Okay. So understanding how to move the client through this process is going to be very valuable. So let's break this down really quick. So what does the sales process look like? So let me see. Oh, it's not going to load it for me. Ah, there we go. Okay, so our lead is going to come in. So then we're going to use some scripting system here, whatever scripting system you've got. So we want to be able to book this lead here. Once we book with them, we want to offer to meet them. Because it's going to be a listing that we're going to, this is when we're going to meet with them at their home, and we're going to take them through the listing presentation or consultation, tell them what's going to happen. Then they're going to love us so much. They're like, oh my gosh, I love you, Alysha. We're going to sign up right now. We're going to work with you. And now we're going to provide them with what's called our seller's plan. So what does the next few steps look like? We're going to get the stagers in. We're going to get the photography done. We're going to get your house on the market. We're going to do open houses on the first weekend out. What does that plan look like? Do you have a plan for them? So once we've gone through all of the photos, the showings, we've gotten an offer. And now we've got contact management system. So our CRM. So now that we've moved this client all the way through the process, we put them into our CRM and we now have an accepted offer and firm. And that's really what it looks like. So during this process of getting them up and running, this showing, offer, and accepted area is your opportunity to be able to capitalize on your listing. So what kind of things are you doing to make sure we can turn that one listing into many listings? Okay. So I've talked a lot. This is a few people that we work with who've used some of our systems to be able to turn one listing into many listings, be able to take a lead that came online and be able to convert them into lifelong clients. So this is a few of our clients that we work with right now who have had exceptional growth. This is our fearless leader, Kathleen, and we've got a couple of different coaching packages that grow with you. So whether you're a solo agent or you're just looking to grow out a business, get some leverage, or maybe you are a top team and running a team and looking for more systems, more training, more help and growth with some of your current agents and staff. So we can definitely help you with all areas within your business, from a solo agent, team growth, and right into that team. So one of the things I would also like to do at this time is I would like to invite you all to be part of our summit. So this year's summit is happening in Niagara Falls at Falls View Casino. So I would encourage you all to get your summit tickets. And the copy of this presentation will be sent to you by email. So don't feel like you have to take all this down now, but it will be sent to you. And I would encourage everybody to scan this QR code if you'd love Kathleen's book. It is a free copy of the Top 1% Life. So go ahead and scan that QR code. And then you'll also see just how powerful and how quickly this QR code can make things happen. Wouldn't you love this in your business? All right. Now, wow pages. Within 1 week, we know that if people take action within 1 week, we tend to get more traction. So I would love for you all to identify any marketing initiatives in your business and your marketing plan. These are key pillars of your business. So what key pillars are you working? What is the minimum return that you need from each of these marketing pillars? Number 2, I want you to create a clear marketing strategy with a rollout schedule. We do not wait for business. The top 1% create it. So if you're going to sit at home and think it'll just come to you, you might be sitting at home for a little while longer. So let's take action now while we can to create our future. I would love for you all to invest in mastery, and this equates to a 7x greater return in marketing dollars spent. Becoming a master at something is fabulous. And be consistent, track results. If you're not tracking, I would encourage you to track. Focus on the benefits and build rapport. Real estate is based on relationships. Always include a call to action or direct response component. So always be telling them what they need to do next in order to contact you. And finally, I would love for you all to call, door knock, and turn your prospects into leads faster. Now is the perfect opportunity to do that. We are still in a little bit of a lull, but this is where we can get back in front of everybody and start building rapport and having great conversations. So I will leave us on this. What is your takeaways? What is your most valuable takeaway from today? Go ahead and drop that into the chat while I come on back. So put in the chat, what is the biggest takeaway that you have for today? I'm gonna come on back here. Look at you all, so many, amazing. So we have 5 minutes to go. Go ahead and drop in the chat your biggest takeaway. Follow-up, flyers, good. Just listed, just sold, 10, 10, 20. You'll love that, Megan. You're gonna love 10, 10, 20. Farming, amazing. Get out there and get to it, absolutely. Report and follow-up, good, good, good. Track results, yes. Follow-up, 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 follow-up. Good, 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 good. I had a question, what CRM do I use? Often the brokerage will have one. There's lots of great CRMs out there. The CRM that is best used is the CRM that is used. The CRM that I use is Follow Up Boss. I know a lot of agents do use that. So that is the one that I use. And with KBCC, a lot of our clients as well are using that one. But again, the CRM that you choose to use is there's lots of options out there. So kind of figure out what you're needing. But I found that Follow Up Boss for us gave us the ability to really expand and keep everything in order. Okay, so market planning, budget each month, open house, pre-open house. Oh my God, the nosy neighbors for the open house. I love it. The VIP, like they show up and I always have good spread. Let's be honest, folks. We still, as agents, we really like a good spread. So think about the house that you're marketing and then make sure that we have the appropriate kind of food for it. So if I'm listing a property 2 million or more, I usually will have champagne and strawberries in there. Again, when the neighbors are coming in, they're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. My last agent didn't do that. I'm like, yeah. Next time you should hire me first. Never mind the agent who didn't bring any food. Awesome, awesome, cool. I come from a background in CRMs. Oh, I also use Follow Up Boss. Yes, Allison. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And thank you. I do appreciate your time. That's fabulous. Thank you. I appreciate all of your time. So we have 2 or 3 minutes left. Does anybody have anything in particular, or shall we call it a day? I'm here if you want to ask anything. Oh, can you tell me what 10, 10, 20 is? Yes. House is for sale sign. Does it need to be yours? It does not need to be your for sale sign, but any for sale sign, you are going to go flyer or door knock 10 houses on either side and 20 across the street. So then if that house just pops up, then that's a home is just listed in your area. As soon as that property sells, you're going to go back to that same 10, 10, 20 and drop another one. A home is recently sold in your neighborhood. And what this is doing is this is building consistency. So now let's say 8 houses down, and I apologize, you didn't get the listing, but 8 houses down, a new listing just came up. The consistency is you now go and do 10, 10, 20 again. And what that will do is it first shows you every time a house has come up for sale on this street, you've always been there. Sharon, I'll send it over to you real quick for our last 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I have a real difficulty. So I do basil handout. I'm about to do a I'm trying to really farm my neighborhood. And my difficulty is many of the people in the neighborhood are 80 and older. So what I'm finding happens is one says, I want to leave. He wants to die here. 5 of them have died there. My problem is then the children get involved and I have difficulty securing them because now it gets listed by someone else. And I have been struggling with this for 4 years.
You're not alone. So what I would say is we need to come together and get the parents and the children aligned, because the children like people our age are the advocates for mom and dad. Don't do this, don't do this, use my person. So it's an advocate both. And so part of the strategy that I've started to do is just getting in for a planning conversation, and I'll make sure all parties involved are there. Do you have children that are helping you with the planning process? I would like you to invite your children over to the house so we can all meet together. And at that point too, I can flesh out, children, do you have an agent that you're currently working with or preferred? Oh, you do, but they're way out, 3 hours away. Well, let's look at this opportunity. I'm from the neighborhood. This is how. And sometimes what I'll do is I will offer out a referral to the children's agent. Offer out a referral to the children's agent because they're far away, assuming that they're far away. They're not local, but they want Bob Smith from 3 hours away to list mom and dad's house, and they don't know the neighborhood, but you do. So what if we were to offer Bob Smith a referral, satisfies the kids, satisfies Bob, you get the listing. This is now consultants approach, not sales. You've come together. Is that one helpful? Amazing. I hope you all got a little bit out of that one. For everybody that stuck around, I think that was a solid one because you'll see that often. So Sharon, I would love to hear how all that pans out, but that's where I would start you with. See if just think outside the box. Awesome. On that note, folks, I have to go. I hope you enjoyed our hour together. It went really fast. And this market coming in, let's do everything we can to take our one listing and maximize all of our leads off of that.
Thank you very much for your time, Alysha.
You're very welcome, everybody. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you all soon.
See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.